Hello and welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or Mutilus on Discord.
And this is Aaron. I go by Treffenwood on Discord.
Welcome back for today's installment of Your Riveting Episodes. So I guess starting off, I have a question for you, Aaron. Have you finished Brockmire yet?
I just started episode 1 of season 4.
Nice.
So
I believe season 4 is the time skip.
Yeah, fucking weird as shit. I'm like, what is going on?
It's pretty crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not expecting a time skip for Brockmire. It was interesting. You liking it still?
Yeah. Lost a little bit of luster, but I really like how they did a really, really good job with his character. And so I read up kind of on the backstory and how he created it, and it was part of skits, and then they decided to make it into a show.
Yeah, it's interesting how his character develops over time.
Yeah, and he doesn't really fall into the trope of he's nuanced, right? Because he can he obviously has this world of a wealth of experiences that are clearly not realistic.
Yeah.
Yet he is also very human and and positive and cares, right? He's not just this amoral, anti-hero.
He definitely starts that way, right? Like he starts as just like this.
Sure, and then the first season, yes.
Yeah.
But I think underneath all of that, and you're right, there's his decision to chase ambition over love and where that gets him and kind of where he's at now. So yeah, he does definitely kind of come around, but it's also not a one episode revelation. You really have to take a look at everything to see where he started, where he's what he's gone through and where he's at now. So
I think one of my favorite episodes, which I think you will like as well, is they have the intervention for him. I think it's at the end of season 2, start of season 3. And he at the end of the intervention, he's like, all right, you only have one card to play here. Like, just play the card. And they're like, no, like the person that was supposed to come that you actually care about didn't show up because they're done with you. And it's like, ouch. Like, he decides to just go off the deep end and then it goes sideways and very quickly.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. I have a long list of things I've watched recently because I decided to stop watching TV shows and finally start checking things off my movie list.
Yeah, I heard you say The Ref was overhyped.
I just had very high expectations because of the way it was described by you guys.
Okay.
Which is fine. Like, it was not a bad movie, but it wasn't gripping. I'm just confirming here. I've watched a lot of movies while I've been at my computer lately. All right, so pulling out the TV shows and stuff I've watched a while ago. So when I check things off my to-watch list, I don't delete them. I just move them into the to-watch list so I remember to talk about them later.
Cool.
All right, so starting off here, I watched Equalizer 2 and 3. I had already seen number 1. They were okay. Like, more of the same, right? Like, typical, like, vigilante hero action movie.
Yep.
It's the retired spy / secret agent movie is kind of overdone, but it works.
Yep.
Then I watched Leon the Professional.
Leon,
or Leon, I think is the way they say it in the movie, but
I have not seen that.
It is interesting. It's the famous Natalie Portman child actress movie. I didn't realize how creepy it was going to be.
Yeah, it's got the French guy in the title role. Okay, I've definitely seen this.
And Gary Oldman in one of his amazing roles as a villain. Yeah, I guess my big surprise there was how really creepy the movie was. Because it's definitely it was much darker than I expected at the beginning, but then it just got real creepy, and I was like, oh god, this movie could not get made nowadays. All right, next up I watched In Bruges, which I liked.
Okay.
That was good.
Have you seen it? The City in Belgium?
Yes.
I have not seen it, no.
So the movie follows, I want to say his name's Colin Farrell. I always get his name wrong, though. Nope, it is Colin Farrell. But he plays a, newly fledgling hitman. And the plot of the movie is after his first job, they go to Bruges to hide out while their boss watches the police for them and lets them know when it's safe to come back to London. So it's just him and his like I don't know what's the opposite of a journeyman, like his mentor guy that is like chaperoning him in his duties, are just hanging out in Bruges. But the older guy clearly loves it, and the younger guy hates it. He's like, "This is the stupidest fucking city ever." Having actually been to Bruges, I can agree it's a weird little city. It's like this little medieval town in the middle of a developed area.
Yep.
But yeah, so having been to Bruges and then watching the movie, I think it was really entertaining because I like one of the final scenes. They're sitting at a little cafe table.
Mm-hmm.
I literally sat at that table and didn't know it was a big deal. Like at the time, like I had lunch at that table, and then watching the movie, I'm like, I fucking sat at that table. But yeah, it was very fun.
Cool.
I regret heavily now not going up in the little tower they have there because that would have been cool. But it was €15 to go up it, and I was like, I'm not paying €15 to go up in the tower. That's stupid.
Yep.
I watched Ted 2. Ted 2 was fun. I like Ted 1 as well. I finally watched The Quick and the Dead all the way through instead of just in 5-minute segments.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new movie called Lamborghini. And it follows Lamborghini's rise and competition with Ferrari. I did not like it that much. It was just okay. I expected it to be more like Ford versus Ferrari. And it to be like more dramatized, but it was really just this really boring story that is well acted. And so it's like, this wasn't worth a movie. Quigley Down Under, which was very good, obviously. Again, what is his name? Alan Rickman is amazing as the villain. Movie I would like to recommend to you is The Green Book. Have you seen that?
Don't think so.
I think you should watch it. It is oh god, I can't remember the black guy's name. But it's Viggo Mortensen plays a Italian like mobster muscle guy that works in New York City, and he gets hired as a valet / bodyguard by this musician who is touring the Deep South, and obviously he's black, so that's an issue. And so it just follows their like 3-month journey as he goes around and plays piano for all these like rich white people in the South. It's very good. I liked it a lot.
Okay.
But pretty much everything Viggo Mortensen's in, I liked a lot. So
sure.
The infamous Wedding Crashers.
Yep.
I had only seen the part where they go to the wedding where they meet the main characters, and so I hadn't seen all the parts after that.
Yeah.
Much better than the beginning. And then some, just rattling off some other ones here. I've got Empire Records and Neverending Story. Both were just okay. New movie Tetris. Have you seen this one? It supposedly is loosely based on a true story about how the video game Tetris was popularized, because it was designed by a USSR computer programmer and then basically smuggled out of Russia to be sold internationally because they weren't allowing media out of the country at that point. And so it follows this salesman that works for Nintendo trying to get to the guy and buy the rights while the KGB is trying to stop him. And it's pretty crazy. So I don't know how much of it is true, but there's several points in the movie like this actually happened. I'm like, oh, damn.
Nice.
Cabin in the Woods, which was fun. I expected that to be fun, though. And then finally, I have the movie Blow. Have you seen Blow?
Mm-mm.
No. You haven't seen any of these movies I just watched?
I saw about 3 of them.
Okay. But yeah, Blow was interesting. It's obviously a very emotionally heavy movie, but I preferred American Made, which is very similar, but more upbeat.
Okay.
That was it.
Cool. What are your next 5 that are on your list?
I just kind of grabbed them at random. I've been intentionally not picking like the more emotionally heavy movies because I kind of watch them while I'm working or doing other stuff or painting.
Sure.
So a lot of the ones I still have on my list are pretty heavy or slow. So starting off, I have The Godfather.
Sure.
Which I don't want to do while I'm distracted. And then I've got Scarface, Goonies, High Fidelity, Point Blank, and Enemy Mine. And then a long list of others that I haven't gotten to yet.
Point Blank's just an action thriller. I have never watched The Godfathers.
Yeah, Point Blank, I just haven't watched out of just lack of motivation, because I believe I know basically what happens, so.
Sure. I'm not sure it's anything special, but it's also not bad. I'd have to rewatch Goonies. I remember not liking it as a kid. but I understand a lot of people really like it.
Mm. I tend to like the juvenile adventure movies where it's like, let's just go do stupid shit and then crazy stuff ends up happening. So I think I'll like it, but obviously it's extremely dated. So
yeah, my only issue is the awkwardness with you're familiar with all the characters, and are you familiar
only
with anything?
vaguely.
Okay, then I won't say anything about
I've seen the very end where they're in the cave. I've seen clips of that when I was a kid, and I've seen screenshots of other parts. But I know very little about the whole body of the movie, other than the vague concept.
I mean, the whole juvenile adventure is fine.
Mhm.
I think at some point it gets a little awkward with respect to juvenile humor, right? Stuff that was okay to make fun of
Okay.
back in the 80s that's not okay now.
Gotcha.
So that's my only. It was, again, I felt awkward watching it back then, but it's probably fine.
Cool. One I'm excited to rewatch is Seven Psychopaths. I was selling who was it? I think I was selling Josh on watching it, but talking about the movie made me want to watch it again, so I put it back on my list.
Sure.
Have you watched anything else? Played any fun games?
No and no. I mean, turning out 3 seasons of Brockmire in a week is not bad.
Yeah, still good.
So I have 2 more Judgment models to paint, and then I'll be fully caught back up with Judgment.
I have your big troll with rock
Nice.
at the store for you.
I will not be up Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
They're fixing
I guess
fixing my house on Friday, so I need to be there. I'll be up on Saturday for the fab stuff.
Cool. That's probably a good thing, because I'm going to try and get out of work early tomorrow so I can go home and work on D&D stuff, because I have this big old model to paint still.
Ooh.
And a bunch of D&D to write and draw because I'm making the maps.
How are your 14 Adepticon models coming along? Or is that a problem?
I printed them.
Like 3
they
weeks
now
from now.
physically exist, so okay. We're halfway there. No, actually, so once D&D's over, because I have D&D tomorrow, we haven't played in a month, so I have a lot of stuff to prep for. But once I'm done with D&D tomorrow, or tomorrow by Friday, then all weekend I'll be building and painting. And I expect I'll be at least half done painting by the end of the weekend, and then I will finish it up throughout next week, is the plan.
Cool.
Unlike Josh, who has painted 2 models in the last 2 months trying to get ready for Adepticon. I just love showing him, look at all the models I painted the last 2 days. He's like, God damn it.
Yep. I also do not paint quickly, so
yeah,
is what it is. I
understand it. It's just you know your pace, that's fine, and so you can keep up with it. But Josh is getting to the point where he's starting to stress about it. It's I don't know if I'll have time to paint my Guardians. Well, get at it.
Yep.
And I would say, Aaron, you probably paint at a perfectly fine pace considering the number of cabinets you have of fully painted models.
All right. But I definitely do. I'm not a quick painter.
Yeah.
Yeah, on average, it's 4 hours a model is what I usually take.
Yeah, but you're also not doing assembly line. You're doing full models, and at least you have been for a while. Back when you're doing your trolls, I want to say was the last army you painted.
Yep.
Yeah, so that probably went faster per model, I would imagine.
Probably.
Once you got into the rank and file dudes.
I also painted every single troll model while I was deployed. So
yeah,
it was my deployment project. So I was able to space out, I knew how many days I was deployed. I knew how many models I had to paint. So, okay. I, of course, had, I don't know if it was a spreadsheet or just written on paper, but, I knew I had to hit certain benchmarks at certain days during my deployment.
After 3 weeks, I have to have this many models done.
Yep. Yeah. And then after, 6 weeks, this many. So.
Did you break it down? Because clearly, a Mountain King's going to take longer than
yes.
A
so
Blade, so
week 1 was 2 units of 5, so 10 regular troll models, and then week 2 was one of the Mountain King, and week 3 was so yes, I broke it down into chunks that made sense, and nice. Enabled me to have the entire thing completed, probably a week before I left. I'm betting.
Nice.
I also packed the entire troll full field allowance, the entire. Everything in my carry-on.
Damn.
I debased them, right? So I took them off their bases.
Yeah, and it's just piles of lead.
Well, and then I individually wrapped each of them in foam, just thin foam, and then started just putting them in the carry-on. And if you start, the basing takes up so much space, just volume-wise. So as soon as you take them off their base, then you can fit a lot of models in a little space when you just wrap them and place them.
Well, that's trolls as well. Like trolls are like 6 times the volume of like a human of that game. And like so if you just had like here's my random winter guard, you could fit 12,000 winter guard in a carry on if they weren't on bases. Like you
Yeah.
just pile them up and it's like there's like no dead space. So yeah, and that's when I try and sell people on like Magnarak or any kind of magnet tray technology
Yep.
for storage. I'm like, do you understand like when you have a guy and he's got like a sword one way and a pistol the other way, like how much space that takes up in a foam tray? It's like the space of 6 models. Whereas if you just put them on a tray base to base, turn them all so they fit, and then it's like you can fit 5 times the models in the same volume. And so like there's really no reason to ever do foam again, in my opinion. Unless you're like flying, maybe I could see it. And you're worried that the thing's gonna get chucked around, and you want to make sure that the magnets don't pop loose of the tray. Like there's some situations, but it's pretty rare.
I mean, you should not be checking your models, but okay.
Well, sometimes you have to, but yeah, I agree.
Oof.
Any other way is generally my philosophy. It's like I am checking this at when someone puts a gun to my head. Like it's basically the situation we're in.
Yeah, or never. I'll catch the next flight.
Right. But yeah. So you're running a Blood Bowl tournament at some games convention.
I am.
That's right.
Yep, the 11th of March, or sorry, April, at FBC
Okay.
GameCon in Gardner, Kansas.
So that'll be just after Adepticon, about 2 weeks.
Yep, it'll be on Saturday, which is not normal for me, but that's what we're doing. It'll be using the updated Euro Bowl rules that they came out with, which just modified a couple teams.
Did it already come out now? Because I know last time you posted it hadn't yet. What did
yes.
they change?
They changed 3 teams down a tier. I think that was about it.
Is this one of your favorite tournament packets right now?
Or
is it just one of the only ones?
So I'm a little biased. Not biased, but I have personal interest because I need to choose what I'm going to take for this particular tournament that's happening in September. At some point by like May or June, I'll need to have decided what I'm going to take. So being able to watch people play different builds and see what those builds are and try some myself gives me some experience before I have to make a choice. Secondly, whether you have specific issues with the build, which some people do, you can't argue that it is a genuine attempt at a very fair and balanced build overall without a lot of special shenanigans. And so being able to take this build every year, which will change, and I'll run my first 2 tournaments with it every year, the February and April tournaments that I run, seemed like a really good paradigm to do. Because I run 6 tournaments a year. So 2 will be with the Euro Bowl rules for whatever year it is. And then I'll run a star player focused one. And then I'll run 2 that operate off of my version of fair and balanced. But I don't want to do that for 6 different tournaments just because it's the exact same rule set, if that kind of makes sense. So this,
you want to shake it up. This
provides some level of difference while still keeping, fair and balanced as the primary motivation for how I want to run my tournaments.
Yeah, I can see that. So, do you have some strong front runners for what you're planning on taking? I guess actually my first question is, do you get first pick on your team? Because it's a team event, right?
It is a team event. We have not decided who's taking what. I would probably defer to my compatriots because of the 31 teams that are available. I'm sure I can find at least 4 I would be very happy to take.
Mm-hmm.
And once I've taken 4, then it's impossible for them to take all of the ones that I would be happy with.
Gotcha.
I haven't spent as much time building for this as I'd like to because I've done a lot of building for the Super Bowl Hope and Adepticon first. So I will take some more time to get reps in with this packet, maybe heading in toward the April tournament, and then make some choices on what I want to take after that.
Okay. I'm still pretty happy with how my Nurgle team is playing. I just got to figure out how to not lose all my games, which I'm slowly working towards.
It's a trick. Yep.
Yeah. I find if you don't lose all of your games, you end up placing better.
This is a decided fact.
I think I have decided, though, I'm probably going to go with Guard on the Rot Spawn, and then just do I like the Sure Hands Pestigore. I think that's good. So yeah, I think at that point, the skill on the second Pestigore is less valuable when I'm not going to have like a double, where it's like they both have tackle or something along those lines. I'm more inclined to put like a single prehensile tail on the other Pestigore as opposed to tackle. Is that just stupid? Is
Yes.
tackle just better?
Yes.
Damn it. I guess the logic I was using is if they have dodge, which is a limit to like only so many models in the game have dodge. Admittedly, it's a lot, right? It's more than the naturally have block, I would think, because of all the stunty teams. So it's obviously a good skill to have, but they can still just spend a team reroll to emulate dodge. But if you're actually giving them a -1, you're doing something that the tackle skill can't do. Where like they can't just spend a reroll to ignore a -1. Was the logic I was using, but obviously I don't have the reps to know if that's true or
not. You don't take tackle to prevent people from dodging away. You take tackle so that when you blitz their person down with dodge, you ignore the defender stumbles results. It, in effect, doubles the results that will put them on the ground. That is not insignificant.
But in that example, wouldn't it be better to just have block?
What if they have block and dodge? All of a sudden, tackle goes from a star to a star and stumbles.
What about wrestle then?
Yeah, wrestle's great.
Because if all I care about is knocking the ball out, then wrestle. What about strip ball then?
Won't work against your hands.
Okay.
I
think in this format, there's probably going to be more people with sure hands than in most events because it's limited on how many elite skills you can take.
True. I don't know that anyone's going to be grabbing. It'll be an issue for the teams that start with sure hands.
Yeah.
I can see arguments for wrestle, tackle, or strip ball. But that's why you're taking tackle. You're taking it because they have a goblin. They have a blodge ball carrier. And you're like, how do I get that guy down? 2 dice needing to roll a POW is not very likely. 2 dice needing 2 results with a reroll is somewhere like 50-50. I think it's 45%, but it's pretty close to a coin flip. So that's why you take it. Wrestle, obviously, just as good for getting them down, but now you're stuck. Right? If you were able to blitz their ball carrier in the open and you have tackle and you push them down, now you can pick up the ball and keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Wrestle has the benefit that it works on defense too. Right now you have a defensive option against their block, for instance.
Yeah. My Pestigores do get beat up a lot, but I think that's probably because I'm playing against you and you know to target them.
Yeah. So that's why I don't like Prehensile Tail. It's going to dictate where one of your 2 Pestigores has to go to be relevant, which is next to someone with dodge. And so instead, the person's not going to dodge away. They're just going to blitz you off, or they'll dodge if they have to. I'm not saying Prehensile Tail is a useless skill.
Yeah.
But with only having 2 Pestigores, I really think they're the key to your defense and need to not be committed based on the skill they have, if that makes sense. I think they need to be free to be able to engage where makes sense. So while Prehensile Tail is great, I would not want to put one on my 2 Pestigores.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I was only looking at it from the defensive mechanic as opposed to the offensive side, although I don't at one time I've actually intentionally blitzed with my guy with tackle. But yeah. Did you see the spoiler for Marvel Alliances?
I did.
Were you excited?
I was not. I was not unexcited either. Someone else is going to have to play it, tell me it's an amazing game, and get me into it.
Yeah, I don't have any plans to buy one, but I think it's probably a good product. I think, much like Monster Apocalypse, which I don't think you played, but
I did a very little bit.
You dabbled.
Yep.
Okay. I think it's something that can port very well to a board game. And so I think it's a good opportunity to either grow the game because you get people that are willing to buy a, let's say $100 core set for a board game that has high replayability and low investment model wise.
Yep.
To allow them to then transition into playing MCP. Of all of the people I've heard say like, alternate sculpts, we're going to have more versions of models. That's a good thing. I don't really see that as a high value because I think anyone who cares about models is not going to like, 2-part push fit, starter box quality plastic.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't see that being a high value, but it will be a different pose if you just absolutely hate the pose. I was personally excited because I saw a bunch of like henchman looking people, and I think a henchman mechanic in the game would be good. So I think grunts were a good idea, but really poorly executed, and I think that having some kind of grunt mechanic would be better. But yeah. Anything to shake up MCP, I'm excited about. So
sure.
Are you excited for the new Judgment stuff?
We haven't had our cast on it yet, but I think the most current release looks a lot better painted than it does unpainted or in the renders, and so that was very nice to see. My initial reaction was that he was overtuned, but he's probably not. He's probably on the good side of a power curve, if that makes sense. Like within appropriate parameters, but good. And specifically does what I think I like a lot. So I could see myself liking this model.
Are the trolls considered orcs?
No, they're goblins.
Goblins. Okay.
So actually, they're trolls, but they can play for the goblin tribe.
They're allies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really excited for the goblin that's going to come out either next month or the month after, just based on how it looks. It looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of their models, I mean, I was kind of hard on them for the troll model, but I think a lot of the models look good, but I'm really excited for this goblin model. And I do not like the way they designed their goblins, the goblin aesthetic.
Yeah, I don't either. I think the goblins were kind of meh.
Sure. And I understand that everyone has different opinions, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
They went with a certain aesthetic. If you like that aesthetic, you will like these goblins. I want more.
Goblins are
feral.
particularly hard to design because there's been so many like iconic goblins.
Yep.
And anything that isn't in that range, it feels like an outsider. Like you can be the D&D goblins with like the football heads, you can be, the D&D goblins, you can be God, I'm drawing a blank now. GW goblins, which are like super cartoony and goofy. But yeah, so it's hard to come up with your own interesting part of that without trampling on other people's IP.
Yep. So anyway, I'm really excited to hear the rules for that model because that could be pretty cool.
I was under the impression that they would give out the rules early, but I guess it's not that early, is it?
It's normally the second Thursday or so of the month is when the model. So they typically don't release the rules until the model's live.
Okay.
For sale.
Are you playing Tribes still, or is everyone going back to Standard?
So I will play Tribes at events, but otherwise, so Tribes is effectively Standard. Like
it's technically still in the game, but
I mean, yeah, you can when you show up to play a game, you can bring a tribe or a warband. Does not matter, and you can play your opponent will likewise have the option to take what they want. So tribes are an integrated part of the entire game, which is probably a good thing as long as tribes aren't busted. And if they're a little below the power curve, which I think they are, then that's fine. You don't need to play them. But if you want to just buy one race and play that one race, you might be slightly disadvantaged, but not horribly so. That makes entry to the game easier, so no issues. Now, there is a tribes event at Adepticon where you must bring a tribe, which is interesting because if you're going to do that, then why don't you have another event that's just warbands where you can't bring a tribe? I don't know.
Yeah.
It was interesting the first time it came out, right when they tribes were a thing, like that first month. It was, hey, let's have a tribes event. That was cool, kind of cool. But now it's like, why are we even separating them? Like they're both integrated as part of the game. Why do we have to have a separate event for it?
Yeah, I mean the fact that you can technically play both, but there's only one like separate event, and it's only for one half of the game. I would say War Machine used to be that way back in the beginning. Like there was like Hordes events, and then there were like War Machine and Hordes events, or vice versa. It was weird for a while because Hordes was considered stronger at like initial release because there's no question the Fury mechanic was much stronger than the Focus mechanic between the two games. Mm-hmm. But the stat lines of the models and the power of the individual pieces was not the same. So you're playing with better resource mechanics but worse models. It was really weird. And for a while people didn't want to integrate. Sure. But eventually it just happened, so. Yeah, I don't know. Would it matter if they did a warband only and a non-tribal tournament? Would that have any draw, do you think? Or do you think it would just be equal?
I mean, it should be equal. People would just be like, why can't I bring my tribe? Like, it would make no sense. But then that was my point. Like, why can't I bring my warband like to the tribe event? The only reason to run a tribes only, actually, there's no reason. There's no reason whatsoever. I was going to say to make newer people feel included. Like, again, if you only have to buy the 7 models for your tribe. Or you're 5. You just bring 5 models. So you bring 5 models, you don't have to worry about it.
I think it'd be cool if they did like a dual tournament where like round 1 you play tribe, round 2 you play warbands, and then round 3 you get to pick. And so that way you have to bring both, but you have to play your tribal against their tribal, and so it'd be interesting the way people combine their models. And you could even do like a can't combine. You have to have no duplicates in either of your lists. And so depending on what tribe you want to bring, that might affect what warband you want to bring.
Ooh, that is spicy. I'm deciding what events we want to run for at our event, Melee for Midian. That is interesting. Okay, I'm intrigued.
So I've heard that the banning thing works differently if a tribe is involved. Because the tribes that don't have a member to ban, do they get to ban an opposing team member?
No.
Okay, so if you're playing if either player's playing tribes, there's just no ban step.
Correct. There's no ban because the person who brings tribes brings 5 people and that's it. They just sit down at the table with their 5 and they're good. The person who brought
but the other person can just pick between their 7 models.
Correct. They get to drop 2. So you forego the ability to ban in exchange for being able to curate your list however you want.
I like that. I think that's the way it probably should work.
It works fine. I really still think that the pick ban process is integral to how I appreciate and enjoy the game. Because it tails into how I construct my warband. Like, am I weak to a certain aspect? Okay. Well, I can always make sure that typically someone will have, let's say, ranged, and they might have a backup, but they're not going to have 4 ranged.
Yeah.
Right. So I can kind of, curate their list a little bit, but I can't deal with that. Like I can pick one thing I'm going to be bad at and be like, no, I don't have to play against X. Into a tribe, nope, I don't get a choice. So me being able to then drop 2 might help, but if I have a weakness to a certain, thing in the game that I'm counting on pick ban to help me with, being able to drop 2 models of my choice isn't helping me with that weakness.
True.
Not that it's imbalanced. I just really appreciate the pick ban process.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's not just an interesting part, but a very crucial part of the mechanics of the game is like the concept of the pick ban, which is the whole team synergy building is as part of like a MOBA in general is one of the more interesting aspects of the game. Like if you were just blind picking in League of Legends, I think that I find that pretty boring.
Right.
Like part of the interest is the pick ban process.
Yep. So that's why I will almost exclusively play warbands if I'm ever taking the game seriously. And even just for fun, like I said, that's how I appreciate the game. So if
you were given the opportunity, if there were 7 models of a particular tribe and you were given the ability to either bring 5 or 7, but if you bring 7, there's a ban step. If you bring 5, there isn't. Would you choose to bring 7?
Yeah.
Or would it be more powerful to only bring 5? Because that way you're getting your perfect 5.
It might be more powerful to bring 5. I would still bring 7 just because that's how I like the game.
That's fair.
I appreciate interesting decisions throughout the game, and this is just a really interesting, sometimes game-defining decision you get to make before the game.
Yeah. And like if your team struggles with like a particular kind of tank or any mechanic in the game, if you're like, I just have no way of dealing with like Fazil, for example, I can't deal with his speed and damage output. You're like, okay, well I'm just not going to have to because I have that ability. But as soon as you're like, all right, we're playing Undead Tribal, you're like, well now I don't have that choice. All right, so you want to jump into Mojo World?
Let's do it.
All right. So this week we are doing favorite fantasy character spec, or like specific class in like a role-playing game or something. But we're doing not just broad categories, but specific ones. All right. So due to my shellacking of Josh last week, I'm gonna go first. Are you ready, sir?
I am ready.
I'm gonna take the best one, Pyromancer.
Okay. That was so close to my number 1, yet also so far away.
I bet.
I will counter your Pyromancer with an Ice Wizard.
I'm gonna put Ice Mage. There's a term for Ice Wizard, isn't there?
You got me.
Cryomancer. I'll leave Ice Mage. Ice Mage sounds better.
Yeah, you can't have Pyromancer and Cryomancer on the same Ugh, that's
It's
just horrible.
According to my quick Google search, Frost Mage is more popular, but
Okay, we can do Frost
Ice Mage is fine. Ice Mage is fine.
Okay.
All right, you got one more.
We're gonna go the dual axe wielding Berserker.
Dual axe wielding Berserker. So not swords?
Nope, not swords. Got to be axes.
What about like
Nope.
pole axes?
Nope.
What about two-handed axes? Just
Nope.
Specifically one-handed axe? Okay.
Oh yeah, dual one-handed axe wielding Berserkers.
That was on my list, but not. I had it phrased differently, but all right.
Okay,
we'll
we can go with your phrasing. You know what I mean. But
I had Frenzied Berserker.
Okay, we can just go Frenzied Berserker. That's fine.
Damn, that was my number 2. All right. So next up, we'll go with Assassin.
Okay.
And Necromancer.
My third is a Night Goblin Shaman.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I played a Goblin Shaman in Warhammer Age of Reckoning. It was super awesome. Probably my favorite character in that game.
So to recap, I have a Frost Mage, a Frenzied Berserker, and a Night Goblin Shaman facing off against your Assassin, Necromancer, and Pyromage.
Yep. That's fine. My Pyromancer will kill all 3 of you. That's fine.
We will attempt to cast Fireball and fail.
No, you're going to cast Fireball.
Okay.
My D&D group, I've played the most 3.5, which is the edition we play. By far, I think, of the group. Everyone else has played a lot of other games. But yeah, there's a lot of silly shit you can do with wizards in general in that game. It's really fun. I definitely started being a huge fan of like barbarians and then quickly transitioned into wizards.
I just always like the freezing aesthetic in whether it's usually in the video format, like the freezing people and then shattering them is always more aesthetically pleasing than watching them run around on fire and then just die to the flames at some point. Like no, I want to see your shattered fucking corpse on the screen. That's why I go ice. I like the ice more than like the fire and the lightning.
That's fair.
Mechanics anyway.
I had an honorable mention for Dwarf Defender, just a Tower Shield Dwarf, just never die.
Two-handed Warrior would be my next one, and that could be a sword, a poleaxe, doesn't matter. But just walking around using your weapon as your defense.
Yep. So while we're on the fantasy genre stuff, I bought a map making program way back in the day. It probably would have been probably 2014, 2015 time frame. I bought it, and it was a little older when I bought it, and so it's called like Fantasy Pro Map Creator, some generic name. But anyway, I made all my D&D maps with that, but it no longer is compatible with like Windows anymore, and so I can't use it anymore. But all the maps I made back in the day, I still use for my D&D campaign. And so I can't make more maps though, and so as the group is going further into the game than I had already made content for, I now need to make new stuff. And so I was looking into different map making softwares that are current, and one that came across me was called Procreate. And I don't know why you would ever name something Procreate.
Oh, I know why.
I know why too, but it shouldn't be called that. I read the name, I just started laughing. I was like, this is the stupidest fucking name. But anyway, I found one that I like, and that's what I've been doing all day as I've been making my new maps. I'm on my 3rd new map of the day.
How have you found Civ 6?
I liked it. I am actively avoiding playing it because I don't want to, lock my entire day up, because every time I start a game, I want to finish it. Let's see. I have put in 118 hours so far, which is more than most games. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of Civ 6 over a course of probably about 3 play sessions. I played 3 different games. Well, I really played like 4 or 5 games, but 2 of them I aborted pretty much immediately because I didn't know what I was doing. I feel, I don't know, it's a weird game because I want to win, obviously, but I also don't want it to be super easy. And so it feels to me, being a very, inexperienced Civ player, extremely inexperienced, that some things are just really strong in the game. And I feel like exploiting those things it's like cheating almost. It's like if you're playing solitaire and you move things to see what's under them and then undo if you don't like the result is what it feels like.
Sure.
And it's like that's not really how you're supposed to play, like, if that makes sense.
Yep, I get it.
So for me, it's like, well, I feel like these civs are really strong, and I feel like, you can just bully people in a lower difficulty game, and just like I feel like you can almost automatically take over the map if you want, if you're playing on like
Sure, if you're playing on one
Prince
of the
or
easiest
whatever.
ones, that makes sense.
Right, yeah. And so, but I also don't know what I'm doing, so I feel like if I up the difficulty, I'll lose. But if I stay where I'm at, it's like not challenging, and so it's just really time consuming. So I'm in a weird spot with it. I want to play it more, but I don't want to just lose 8 hours at a time because I have stuff to do.
Okay, sure. Yeah, if you have other things you want to do.
Yeah. And so I was hoping when I bought Civ that it would be a good game to kind of like have going idle in the background. But it has not been that. It has been very absorbing.
Yep.
Which is a good thing, but it's,
So, I want to say it's Amplitude Studios. Look it up real quick.
Is that who makes it, or are you talking about a different game?
A different game.
Okay. Amplitude is a game. It's called a visual novel. Oh, Amplitude Studios. They make Endless Legend 2.
Yep, there you go. Also,
and Humankind.
Endless Legend 1 and Endless Space 1 and 2. Endless Legend 2 just entered open beta. Or early access, as I guess it's known. I enjoyed Endless Legend way more than I did the Civ series. I think Endless Legend is an incredibly good game.
I was initially not interested. Then I saw Endless Dungeon. All right, let me see this.
It's Dungeon of the Endless, which is a fun as shit game. I'm not sure. You'll either love it or hate it.
Well, this says Endless Dungeon. But this is a collection of games.
Got it.
Okay.
There's a game called Dungeon of the Endless. It's the only game I've ever bought both on computer and iOS. That's how much I appreciated having that game with me when I was traveling.
Okay, what is Dungeon of the Endless then? Here it is. Okay, I found it. Because Endless Dungeon was a separate thing, but it looks like Endless Dungeon is the upgraded version of this.
Got it.
It definitely looks similar but different.
I mean, what? You talking?
Because Dungeon of the Endless looks like a side scroll, like roguelike game.
It is very much a roguelike game. You have to explore a dungeon, find the key, and leave. All the while, every room you open, bad guys come out of it, and then you gather resources and create tower defense. Really, but it's an very interesting take. It's an amazing game. So if anyone's interested in Dungeon of the Endless, if it's ever on, I will pay full price for it. It's that good. But if you're not,
it's also $12. So
right, like you can get it on sale for a lot less than that just to give it a shot. Yes, playing that on hard difficulty is fucking hard.
So Dungeon or Endless Dungeon is different. It is a like Diablo style version of that. It looks like, where it's like 3/4 angle down, and it looks like live action.
Huh. I have never played Endless Dungeon. It came out way after Dungeon of the Endless because this got published in 2023.
So. Okay, this is with interesting.
Mixed reviews. I have to imagine Dungeon of the Endless has amazing reviews.
I would assume. Have you played Endless Space?
Yes, I played Endless Space and Endless Legend. They're both 4X games. Picture Civ. One is in space, one is on Earth. So Endless Legend is just like Civ, but in my opinion, a better game than Civ. They came out with Endless Space. So they came out with Endless Legend, then Endless Space, then Endless Space 2, and right now Endless Legend 2. So if I want to lose myself for a month, I will buy Endless Legend 2 and play that. However, I have kind of sworn off early access games for the most part.
Yeah, me too. And I think it's less because I don't trust them. I think I'm usually pretty good at, auditing the games I'm about to buy on if they're like playable or not.
Yep.
But I'm not in that much of a hurry to play a game. And like I don't have enough free time that I'm bored.
Yep.
So I'm never like urgently trying to get into this new game. I usually only buy newer games when they're like a fad that's multiplayer. Like Helldivers was a game I considered buying because I knew everyone was playing it now, and they probably won't be in 5 years.
Sure, but Endless Legend will go on sale for $7.49.
So
pick a
initially,
discount.
I'm more interested in Endless Space.
Okay, that's fine
just
too.
from the
Yeah.
visuals, but I imagine they're very similar.
Yes, they're very similar. Just pick your, do you want to
Yeah.
pilot ships around or do the SIP thing.
Interesting.
I really enjoyed basically everything this publisher's put out.
Damn it. I hate just scrolling Steam library sometimes, because sometimes I'll find shit I really want to play. Like, damn it. Anyway. Yeah, Civ has been good. I'm very happy with Civ. It's just not it doesn't fill the niche I want. Because it ends up sucking me in a little harder than I want it to. And you can't really walk away and come back because there's so much shit you'll forget. It's like, oh, I was building this so I could get to this, so when it upgrades and it's been 10 hours since you've played it, you don't remember what the next plan was. You have to reevaluate the situation. And so, but yeah, it is fun, and I do like it.
So yeah, getting into the Endless Space or Endless Legend 2 beta before it goes off sale on the 13th of March is something tickling the back of my head. But my March is going to be chocked full of a bunch of shit. So,
did you ever play that Kingdoms and Castle game I told you about?
Refresh my memory.
It's like it's an empire building game, but it's basically just solo player. It's not really a challenge, it's more of an efficiency question. It's like, how efficient can you build given like a random place. But it's like cartoony style.
What was it called?
Kingdoms and Castles.
I put it on my wish list.
I really enjoyed this game. It's kind of like, I don't know. I don't really know that it's really like any of the other games I've played, because it's very just like put your head in the sand and build something, and less about like people messing with you. It's not hard. Like there's dragon attacks and like Viking attacks and stuff that they're pretty easy to deal with. It's more about like how efficiently can you build.
It's more a sim than a 4X.
Yeah, it's more a sim, but it's just like, yeah, it's just logistics, the game.
Sure.
Like, can you build this medieval civilization as big as you can get it?
Yeah. Sometimes I embrace my bean counter side.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, I was sitting there with WoW, like, spreadsheet open. I'm like, all right, so a library gives you this bonus and, like, a number of tiles. And then I was like, then you need a bathhouse, and you need, fire, fighters. You need a well, and then you need, like, stockpiles, so, you have a better efficient distribution of your resources throughout your people. And then, like, you need all these different things. There's, like, a town square and, like, a tavern. All this stuff gives aura bonuses. So I was trying to find a way to build, like, a tile that was repeatable, that would give like the maximum overlapping bonus, but it's just not possible. Like, there's so many little subtle things you have to do to get the bubbles to overlap just right that you can't just like copy the same thing over and over again.
Well,
yeah, it's fun.
As long as it works.
I played, what was the game called? I played Meet Your Maker. Was probably one of the more fun, surprisingly enjoyable games I've played lately. But unfortunately, I think it's basically dying because there's not enough people playing it, and it's exclusively PvE. But you don't play against the person, you play against the thing they build. And I know I've talked about this game on the cast before, but yeah, the issue was just like there's not enough people online. I picked up what's it called? Space Marine 2. I need to play that still, but I don't want to be distracted when I play it. I want to actually like jump in it and play.
Yep.
So that will probably be after Adepticon.
I have been lost in Monster Train 2 for a long time.
Yeah, I probably just need to eventually break down and play one of those little deck builder run-through games. I've actively avoided them in the past.
Sure. Not for everyone, but I enjoyed the little puzzles it creates, and, sit down for 30 minutes, play a game, or 5 minutes if you get rocked on the first level, and then try it again.
Are there any new games coming out that you're excited about?
Just Endless Legend 2. That's it. We have a pretty busy schedule for the year between Judgment, Blood Bowl, Flesh and Blood. Between the 3rd of January and the 20th of March. So 3 months, I had 1 weekend off. And a lot of those weekends was full Saturday and Sunday. So
yeah, just
jam-packed. Not a lot of time for other activities.
Did you see our calendar for March for the store?
Yeah, just a little bit.
That's with 3 events not listed. It is triple our normal number of tournaments we run in a month.
Well, we
and
do
a lot
not
of them are big events.
need a Judgment one in March because we'll be at Adepticon.
Well, it's still there.
Okay, it's not happening unless you're running it.
All right. Yeah, I imagine pretty much everyone in the world that plays Judgment is going to be at Adepticon. High percentage of them, at least.
I mean, there's a lot that can't travel at that time or don't want to, so
Sure.
the game's picking up in the Northwest, so we'll see.
Cool. All right, well, I probably need to get back to making maps, but
Yeah.
I think we're pretty much dialed in for today. Hopefully your computer doesn't explode again.
First time it's ever just like shit the bed since I've had it. That was a little scary.
Say, you have a fairly new machine, don't you?
2 years, maybe 3.
Yeah. Oh, I had to replace my car battery today. How often are you supposed to get a new battery? It's like every few years?
3 to 5.
3 to 5? I'm very much due then, because I think the battery has been in this thing for close to 10.
Yep.
I'm going to still blame Kenny's truck on killing my battery, though, because I had to give him a jump.
As you should.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hopefully you had a good time. This has been Brandon.
And Aaron.
And you've just listened to Who is Your Champion and What Does He Do?
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.